All right. So it's been a long time coming. I know maybe some people are like, where'd he go? What has he been doing? What has Evan been doing up in the world? Well, I have been busy. Life things happen and things change and you make choices and things influence how you live your life. And in a sense, I got stuck in this trench for a while and I didn't really know what to do with the channel. And there's so many thoughts going through my head of where I want to go and how I want to approach things, and looking at other people's channels, seeing what I liked, seeing what I didn't like about their channel, and what to do. And I think just how my style is I just like raw, just content. I just really like. I mean, maybe there'd be slight edits of maybe if I miss up something or whatever. But even if I mess up a word or something, I feel like it's natural. It's part of it, and it's just part of the journey. The reason my first video I made was, more edited than this one probably will be. But kind of just want to give an update and just how I want to structure this, and you get to see my, I guess, general, my just who I am, not just like this some serious thing in the beginning. So where my content's going, what's going on. Most of the things I'm talking about today is just why I train. You also might see me fidgeting a little bit. That's just my ADHD, so deal with it. But I'm gonna post this just to myself. I kind of lost who I was the past couple months. That's why I haven't posted anything. But that's why I wanted to film this video, because this video means a lot to me. Because after the past 2 months, I guess I can get started there. I've been training for the marathon, right? So that's my big thing. I'm training for a marathon. I'm also might do some other small races just in between, just for fun. But for the most part, training for the marathon. But also, I've been in a deficit. So I've been in a deficit of calories, and I've also been training, putting in the miles, and I'd like to spread some information that maybe would also be good for you guys to hear. So one thing I wanted to talk about was being in a deficit during like a marathon training block. That is really hard to do. That is something that I have struggled with, and I know potentially other people might have too. So, one thing I can say is it does not work. Now, yes, maybe if you are slightly, maybe you are holding on more fat or you're slightly heavier, you might like being in a deficit might be beneficial. But when you get to a certain point to where you're like just there's nothing else really to burn, and it's just like almost just burning your protein. Like when you burn so much fat, it's just gonna go to protein, right? Or whatever else it's gonna take, or it's gonna start taking your muscles away, and you're gonna start atrophying. So there is that. But in addition, I was in that for a while, and a couple things I experienced on my own when I was in that training block and in a deficit was it was not only were my energy levels low, my running performance was dying, my pace was going down. I was just burnt out constantly. My only time, like, I felt awful, and I was like that for, I would say, probably 2 months to 3 months, close to. I was in and out of these just weird flows, and it made me realize how much, I mean, running takes out of you. It takes a lot out of you, and you don't really realize that at first. But in a sense, that's where I've been. That's what I'm up to. Busy with work, just figuring out my work-life balance, trying to figure out where I can fit my training in and what works for me, what doesn't work for me, and understanding that in addition to this is just gonna be pretty much just a yap session. I think that's what it's just gonna be. But in addition to everything else I've talked about, something that if you're training or you're doing something, you can't do what other people do, right? What other people do is not going to exactly work for you. Maybe certain aspects of it, but they have different lives, different requirements. They have different, different things pushing and pulling at them. So you cannot follow exactly what other people are going to do. In addition to that, I'll get into the main topics of today. So, number one is, why do I run? So, yes, it can be kind of like, why do you run? Oh, you run for health. You run just for general, fitness and heart health, which is great. Yes, that is the reason why I do it. But another reason why is it gets my day started off right. I balance, like, I've done almost every single, like, I've tried running in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, anytime. And what works for you is what, works for you. If you have stuff you gotta do in the morning and you don't want to get up early, that's totally fine. If you don't want to go to bed late, don't don't stay up too late. But um, what was it? I lost my train of thought. Running. Why did I run? So tried everything. The only thing that worked for me is running in the morning. It's the easiest thing. You just wake up. It's something that you just push yourself to do, right? And some people will find it hard. It is hard to get up in the morning and run. But when you get it done, you already accomplished something. When most people are just waking up. Now you don't need to compare yourself to others. That's not what I'm saying. But you're doing something for yourself. Your future self or your past self that might have stayed in bed later is now up early and getting it done. So I love getting up early in the morning, even though it sucks getting up at 4. After I'm done with that run, and I got my sleep that night, and whatever else I needed, I feel fantastic. Like my whole day start off right. I can get my food in, I can get my meals, and I think that's a great lead into my next one, which is why? How do I fuel? What is my fuel? What do I like? What do I like to do? Now, everybody has different foods they like, and some people don't like certain foods, and that's totally fine. But the foods that I find that work for me and my solid basis is, and I'll get into this other video, like this is just a general, just kind of guess, yeah. But the food, I love structuring my food around my workouts. So, if many of you know, some of you might not know, what I do for training is, well, how I like to structure my day almost around my training, right? So I'll do running, I'll do biking, I'll lift, do some yoga here and there, but I love to structure my day around my activities. It helps me get fueled, but also when I'm doing all those things, I'm able to, I wouldn't say eat more. I love my food. And that's why I think, yes, you eating in deficit is great, but eating in maintenance is like fantastic. Like, it's just a way you can, like, that's what you need to maintain. And then if you're running or lifting or doing any other activity, you're going to add a little bit more on so you can fuel yourself and keep ready for the next activity you're going to do, and also make sure that your body's functioning. That's what was happening to me. I definitely know, like, my hormones were out of whack. I was like not sleeping well. All these things, like all these health check marks that normally should be up, were completely down. So that's just where I was at, and it wasn't a good place to be. But besides that, something else I wanted to talk about. My nutrition and stuff. But my main meals, I listen, full ADHD moment here. Gonna have to deal with it. But my main meals, I love sticking to oats, rice. I love my eggs. I love my meats. I love red meat, chicken. Don't take that out of context. And just anything else. Like, I love my vegetables. I love carrots. Love me spinach. What else? Cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, all these just natural foods, right? If you stick to that and then maybe have some simple carbs in between your training sessions, I mean, you're gonna be fueled fantastically. And just making sure you have those high carbs, right? That carbs are so important for being fueled, and protein's great too, and fat, and it's all own respect. But carbs, if you're an endurance athlete, are essential. You need carbs. You cannot be low on carbs, or else you're going to be tired, you're going to be out of it, and you're not going to perform like you need to. So that's why I just love, and I know I'm just starting this journey, and I may not be the most knowledgeable, I may not have a PhD or anything, but I'm just telling you what works for me and what has worked on my journey. Maybe some of it will work for you. So next thing I want to talk about was, well, I started talking about why I run. I run because it just makes me feel great. And, that's why running and lifting, it's just both things that are, it's functional, and you are taking care of yourself, your body, you're working for yourself for the future. You look better, you feel better. It's just, it's a everything, right? It's a full circle. But why exactly lift? And I really had to actually think about this one, and I had to reassess my goals. But it's pushing yourself each day. It's something that when you get done with it, same thing with running. When you go through something hard, you realize that there's other things in your life you can take with that, right? If you know you can get through a long run, you can do like so much more. Like there's so many other challenging things you can do rather than going like 18 miles plus or whatever else you're going to be going, right? So it is a mental almost shift so you can take that into other parts of your life. So that's what I really like. In addition, just talking about goals. So what kind of goals do I have for myself and what do I have for myself in the future? The one thing that I do have is I have goals. I mean, my marathon, I have goals for that. I know I want to do an Ironman at some point. That's going to take a lot of training though. So, um, yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. Just doing more races, upping up the mileage. Looking for personal goals, just for like, just getting another mile. So like my longest run currently is 18 miles. So I want to bump that up, like not each week, maybe other week. And I know I really want to get to 2022, see how that feels. But yeah, my goals. That's kind of what my goals are. In addition, if you guys want to see another video of nutrition, maybe I was thinking about doing like just what I eat in a day, something like that, and show you the foods I like. Maybe like a cook with me. Um, go ahead in the comment sections. Put down like what you guys want to see. If you guys want to see like eating content, not like I'm gonna like actually just like eat all the time. I'm just gonna show you the foods I eat in a day, just a full day eating, if you will. I could go through my training blocks, my push, my pull, my leg, my full bodies, which I probably will do. That's a great idea, and other things like just my running splits. But yeah, most of my videos I like talking and just kind of going through things, going through what my actual goal is. Now this might be kind of a chaotic video where it's like going, pushing, pulling in different directions, and that's totally why I intended, because that's just the person I am. I go from one thought to another and I just hop and go skip around. So it's not your style. Sorry, I know it's gonna be a little chaotic, but that's just the person I am. I'm a yapper when I'm actually properly fueled. If I'm not fueled, I am nonverbal. But yeah, so that is where this channel is going. I've been going for a while, but I know I want to make more content, especially with this camera I have. So making more content, gonna be doing more. And yeah, I guess just on a final note, keep being yourself, keep doing the things you love, and always push yourself a little bit harder because there's always more you can do. But at the end of the day, just make sure we're getting our food, our protein, and just taking care of yourself and living the best life you can. But yeah, on that note, feel free, subscribe. There's gonna be more content coming. Like I said, this is gonna be pretty much just a raw video, but we're gonna get into it. Content's gonna be getting better. Editing's gonna be getting better. I know I said that in the last video about how it's gonna be a continual growth, but that's just how it is. That's just life, You can't be good at everything. But yeah, I guess this is what I'll leave on is you can't be good at everything and you can't learn everything in life, but you can really find what you enjoy. And there's another quote. There's one quote. Hold on, I'll be right back. Oh wait. Here it is. Okay, so something I got from Chris Williamson, and he probably got from someone else, is you can be anything you want, but you can't be everything you want. So that means just how I take that is you can be, oh God. So you can be anything you want, but you can't be everything you want. So how I take that is that you need to divvy up your energy to things that actually are meaningful to you or you actually, enjoy. And in a sense, it's going to be different for everybody. But for the time being, understanding what you can't just you can't be doing a million things at once. You have to focus on maybe 2, 3, maybe even just one thing at a time. And for some people, that's the best way they work. And focusing on too much and divvying that energy, you're going to be maybe missing out on something you could have been great at. So that's just how I take it. But either way, I will see you guys later. Keep being good people, good humans, and more content coming. See you guys.